The sound of laughter and clinking champagne glasses fills my sister's sunlit living room as I rest my hand on my swollen belly, soaking in what should be the happiest day of my life. Pink and blue balloons dance against the ceiling while my best friend Paige arranges pristine white roses in a crystal vase, shooting me one of her trademark winks. Only you would have flowers color coordinated with your dress at your own baby shower, she teases. I smooth the fabric of my cream-colored maternity dress, the one Beau said made me look radiant last week. What can I say? Some of us like everything just so. The front door opens and my heart does that familiar flutter when my husband walks in. Even after 3 years of marriage, Beau still takes my breath away, all 6 feet of corporate swagger in his tailored suit. But something's off in his expression, a tightness around his eyes I've never seen before. Jillian. His voice carries across the room, silencing conversations mid-sentence. We need to talk. The way he says my name sends ice through my veins. Behind him, a woman I've never seen before steps into view. She's wearing a fitted red dress that hugs every curve, and her hand rests possessively on Beau's arm. My sister Serenity appears at my side, her fingers digging into my shoulder. What's going on? The room has gone deadly quiet. I can hear my own heartbeat thundering in my ears as Beau walks toward me, his expensive shoes clicking against the hardwood. The woman in red follows, her stilettos leaving tiny divots in my sister's pristine floors. I'm sorry it has to be this way, Beau says, but his voice holds no warmth. Ruby and I have been seeing each other for 8 months. She's pregnant too. 12 weeks. The words hit me like physical blows. My vision blurs at the edges as I struggle to process what he's saying. The baby inside me kicks, as if sensing my distress. You're lying, I whisper, but even as the words leave my mouth, I see the truth written across his face. All those late nights at the office, the mysterious texts he'd shield from view, the sudden business trips. I've already moved my things out, he continues, pulling an envelope from his jacket. These are divorce papers. My lawyer will be in touch about custody arrangements once the babies are born. The envelope lands in my lap like a bomb. Around me, guests are frozen in various states of shock. My mother's hand pressed against her mouth, Paige's face flushed with fury, Serenity trembling beside me. Ruby, this woman wearing my husband's ring on her finger, has the audacity to smile. We thought it was best to be honest, given the circumstances. No point dragging things out. My fingers close around the envelope, crumpling its crisp edges. Honest? My voice comes out stronger than I expect. You call ambushing me at my baby shower honest? It's better this way, Beau says flatly. Clean break, no messy scenes. A laugh bubbles up from my chest, sharp and bitter as broken glass. No messy scenes? You're destroying my life in front of everyone I love, and you're worried about scenes? He has the grace to look uncomfortable, but Ruby just tosses her perfectly styled hair. Come on, baby. We've said what we came to say. Baby, the pet name I whispered against his skin countless nights. The endearment he'd murmur while stroking my growing belly. All of it. Lies. Wait. I struggle to stand, my 7 months pregnant body betraying me. Serenity steadies me as I face the man I thought would grow old with me. Why like this? Why here? Beau's mask slips for just a moment, revealing something ugly underneath. Because you always have to have everything perfect, don't you, Jillian? Your perfect house, your perfect marriage, your perfect little life. I wanted you to see that nothing's perfect. Not anymore. He turns and walks out, Ruby clinging to his arm like a trophy. The door closes behind them with a quiet click that echoes through the silent room. I stand there, divorce papers crushed in my fist, as my carefully constructed world crumbles around me. Someone sobs. Maybe my mother, maybe me. I can't tell anymore. Paige appears in front of me, her face fierce with protective rage. I'll kill him. I swear to God, but I'm not listening. My eyes are fixed on a detail I noticed in those few seconds when Beau's mask slipped. Something in the way he smiled when he delivered that final blow. This wasn't just about leaving me for another woman. This was punishment. And as my baby kicks again, strong and insistent, I make a silent promise to both of us. If Beau wants to play games, he's about to learn that perfect little Jillian knows how to play dirty too. The silence in our bedroom, my bedroom now, feels like another presence. I've been staring at the ceiling for hours, watching shadows crawl across the walls as dawn approaches. My hand traces absent patterns over my belly while the other clutches my phone, thumb hovering over Beau's contact photo. The one where he's laughing at something I said. Love shining in his eyes. Was any of it real? A soft knock breaks my trance. Jilly? Serenity's voice carries through the door. I brought breakfast. I'm not hungry. The words come out raspy from crying. She enters anyway, because that's what sisters do. The smell of coffee, decaf, because she remembers everything, fills the room as she sets a tray on the nightstand. You need to eat. She perches on the edge of the bed. The baby needs you to eat. The baby. My hand presses harder against my stomach. I can't keep anything down. Try. She hands me a piece of dry toast. And then we need to talk about the papers Beau left. Just hearing his name makes bile rise in my throat. I force myself to take a bite anyway, the toast turning to ash in my mouth. There's nothing to talk about. He's made his choice. Serenity's eyes narrow. This isn't about choices anymore. This is about protecting yourself and your child. She pulls out her tablet. I've been doing some digging. What do you mean? Remember last month when you mentioned Beau was acting weird about the joint account? I had a feeling. She taps the screen a few times, then turns it toward me. Look at the transfer history. Numbers swim before my eyes, but then patterns emerge. Large sums moving between accounts I've never seen before, all in the weeks leading up to yesterday. He's been moving money, I whisper. But why would he? My phone buzzes, cutting me off. A text from an unknown number. Check the safe in his office. Code is Ruby's birthday. Signed to U17. You're not the only one he's screwing over. Who's that? Serenity leans over. I don't know. I'm already pushing myself up, ignoring the wave of dizziness. But I need to get to that safe before Beau does. You can barely stand. Help me or don't, but I'm going. 20 minutes later, we're in Beau's home office. Everything looks exactly as it did 2 days ago when he kissed me goodbye. The same expensive leather chair, the same pretentious modern art he loves. But now it all feels tainted. My hands shake as I input the code. 0317. The safe clicks open. That bastard. Serenity breathes. Inside are stacks of documents, bank statements, contracts, USB drives. But what catches my eye is a folder labeled More Family Trust. His father's company, I murmur, flipping through pages. These are transfer records, stock certificates. My breath catches. Oh my God. What? He's been embezzling from his own family's company. Millions. I keep reading, horror mounting. And he set it up to look like I'm involved. Serenity grabs the papers. How? My signature. He must have forged it. The room spins as implications hit me. That's why he did it at the baby shower. He wanted witnesses to our falling out. He's setting me up to take the fall. We need a lawyer, now. But I'm not listening. Another document has caught my eye. A prenuptial agreement I never signed. Only this version bears my signature, dated 3 years ago. He's been planning this for years, I whisper. Everything, the marriage, the baby, it was all just cover for his scheme. Fury rises in my chest, hot and clarifying. The fog of grief burns away, replaced by something harder. Colder. My phone buzzes again. Same unknown number. Board meeting next Thursday. Stephen Moore presents quarterly findings. Beau plans to blame everything on you. TikTok. I look up at Serenity, and something in my expression makes her step back. Jilly? Call Paige, I say, gathering the documents. Tell her to bring every scrap of information she can find about Ruby, and get me Clay's private number. Clay? Beau's business partner? Why? I close the safe, straightening my spine. Because Beau's not the only one who can play the long game. He wants to destroy me? Fine. But I'm taking everything he loves down with me. What are you going to do? I rest my hand on my belly, feeling my child move beneath my palm. When I speak, my voice is steel. I'm going to show him exactly what happens when you back a pregnant woman into a corner. The baby kicks, strong and sure, like a sign, like permission. Game on, darling husband. Game on. Rain pelts the windows of the coffee shop as I watch Clay approach through the glass. He spots me immediately. Not hard when you're the only heavily pregnant woman in the place, but hesitates at the door. I can almost see him weighing his options. Finally, he slides into the booth across from me, water dripping from his coat. Jillian, this is unexpected. Is it? I push a manila envelope across the table. Because I think you've been expecting this conversation for a while. His fingers tap an anxious rhythm on the tabletop. I can't discuss company business without Beau's permission? I cut in. That's funny, because these documents suggest you've been doing quite a bit without Beau's permission. Color drains from his face as he opens the envelope. I sip my tea, letting him process what he's seeing. 3 years of watching Beau negotiate taught me the power of silence. Where did you get these? His voice barely carries over the rain. Same place I got proof that you've been skimming from the Moore family account since before Beau joined the firm. I lean forward. The question is, what are you going to do about it? Clay's expression hardens. Is this blackmail? This is a warning. I rest my hand on my belly, feeling my child's reassuring movements. Beau's going to try to pin everything on me at next week's board meeting. When he does, these documents go public. You destroy yourself too. I'm already destroyed. The words come out sharper than intended. I take a breath, steady myself. But I can prove my signatures were forged. Can you prove the same about yours? A crack of thunder punctuates my question. Clay stares at his hands, and I see the moment his resolve breaks. He wasn't supposed to involve you. He whispers. The original plan? It was just supposed to be about the trust fund. Tell me, Stephen, Beau's father, he's been threatening to write Beau out of his will. Something about him not being worthy of the Moore legacy. Clay's laugh is bitter. Beau wanted revenge. And the money, of course. Always the money. So he married me for legitimacy, I say, the pieces clicking into place. The perfect wife, the perfect life, the perfect cover. Clay confirms. But then you got pregnant and everything changed. He started taking bigger risks, moving more money. Said he needed to secure his future now that there was an heir involved. My tea turns sour in my stomach. And Ruby? She works in accounting. Started helping him hide the transfers 6 months ago. He hesitates. Her pregnancy wasn't planned. It scared him. Made him accelerate everything. Including getting rid of me. Clay meets my eyes for the first time. He's going to destroy you, Jillian. He's got everything set up. The fake documents, the witness statements, even recordings of phone calls that never happened. The board will believe him. Unless someone with inside knowledge speaks up. He glances at the envelope. Someone who can prove where the money really went. I let his words hang between us, heavy with implication. Outside, the storm intensifies. I need time to think, he says finally. You have until Tuesday. I slide a burner phone across the table. My number's programmed in. If I don't hear from you by then, I'll assume you're choosing Beau's side. Standing takes more effort than it should. My back aches, and exhaustion pulls at every muscle. Clay catches my arm as I sway slightly. You should be resting, he says, concern flickering across his face. In your condition, my condition is exactly why I can't rest. I pull away gently. I'm fighting for 2 now. I'm almost to the door when he calls out. Jillian, there's something else you should know. About Ruby. My hand freezes on the door handle. What about her? She's not really pregnant. It's part of their plan. She'll fake a miscarriage next month. They thought it would help her case when she claims part of your settlement. The rain suddenly sounds very far away. All I can hear is my own heartbeat, steady and strong like my baby's. Thank you for telling me, I say without turning around. Outside, the storm has turned the city gray and blurry, like an old photograph. I stand under the awning, one hand pressed against my stomach, the other clutching my phone. My fingers move automatically, typing a message to the unknown number that started all this. Need everything you have on Ruby, especially medical records. The response comes instantly. Already on it. But there's more. Steven knows something's wrong. He's hired private investigators. I smile as another crack of thunder splits the sky. Perfect. Time to add another player to the game. The city glitters below my penthouse windows, a constellation of lights I used to find beautiful. Now they just remind me of all the lies wrapped in pretty packages. I press my forehead against the cool glass, watching my breath fog the surface. You need to see this. Paige's voice breaks through my thoughts. She's sprawled across my couch, laptop balanced on her knees, surrounded by papers like a war room command center. I lower myself carefully beside her, my back protesting. What did you find? Ruby's medical records. She turns the screen toward me. Or should I say, Rebecca's medical records. My eyes scan the document, catching on details. She changed her name 3 years ago, right after her last interesting career choice. Paige pulls up another window. Turns out Ruby used to be quite the con artist. Small-time stuff mostly. Insurance fraud, identity theft. But here's where it gets good. A news article appears featuring a younger version of Ruby with different hair but the same predatory smile. The headline reads, Woman accused of pregnancy scam and divorce settlement. She's done this before, I whisper. 3 times. Paige's fingers fly across the keyboard. Always the same pattern. Affair with a wealthy married man, fake pregnancy, dramatic miscarriage after securing a settlement. My phone buzzes. Clay's burner number. We need to talk. Now. It's worse than we thought. 20 minutes later, I'm back at the same coffee shop, but this time Clay isn't alone. A woman sits beside him, middle-aged, elegant with Steven's sharp eyes. Jillian. Steven's wife, Margaret, reaches for my hand. We've been waiting for you to figure it out. I sink into the booth, heart pounding. Figure what out? That Beau's not working alone. Clay glances nervously at the door. Steven's been orchestrating everything from the beginning. Margaret's laugh is cold. My husband thinks he's so clever. 30 years I've watched him manipulate people, destroy lives. But this? She shakes her head. Using his own son's greed against him? That's new. I don't understand. Steven knew about Beau's embezzling months ago, Clay explains. Instead of stopping it, he encouraged it. Fed him information, helped him set up accounts. All while building a case against him. And me, I add quietly. You were supposed to be collateral damage. Margaret's voice softens. Just another casualty in Steven's grand plan to prove Beau unworthy of the Moore legacy. My baby kicks hard, making me wince. Margaret notices. That's why I couldn't stay quiet anymore. She reaches into her bag, pulls out a USB drive. Everything's here. Every transaction, every phone call, every meeting. Steven's been recording everything. Why are you helping me? Her eyes fix on my stomach. Because 30 years ago, I was you. Pregnant, betrayed, caught in Steven's games. I chose to stay silent. Her fingers twist her wedding ring. I won't watch another woman's life be destroyed by more men. Clay's phone chimes. His face goes pale. Beau's called an emergency board meeting tomorrow morning. He knows. The realization hits like ice water. Someone tipped him off. We need to move fast. Margaret stands. I can get you into Steven's office tonight. The real evidence is there. Everything you need to protect yourself. It's too risky, Clay protests. If you're caught, I won't be. I push myself up, one hand on my back. Because you're going to help create a distraction. Later, as I lay in bed trying to sleep, Paige's voice comes through the darkness. She insisted on staying over, camping out on my couch like we're teenagers again. Are you sure about this? She asks. Breaking into Stephen's office, it's not just unethical, it's illegal. I stare at the ceiling, remembering Margaret's eyes when she talked about staying silent. Remembering Ruby's smirk at my baby shower. Remembering Beau's cold smile as he destroyed my world. They made it illegal, I say finally. When they decided to use the law as a weapon. When they thought they could sacrifice my life, my baby's future, for their games. My hand rests on my belly, feeling the strong kicks that remind me what I'm fighting for. Sometimes justice doesn't look like what we expect. Just be careful, Paige whispers. Not just of them, of yourself. Revenge changes people. I think of the evidence waiting in Stephen's office, of the choices I'll have to make tomorrow, of the line between justice and vengeance and how easy it is to blur. I'm already changed, I tell the darkness. The question is, what am I changing into? My phone lights up with a final message from Margaret. Office alarm disabled at midnight. Don't make me regret this. No turning back now. Tomorrow I find out what I'm really capable of. The Moore building looms over me like a steel and glass mountain, its top floors lost in low-hanging clouds. My heart pounds as I swipe Margaret's security card, willing my hands not to shake. The lobby camera's red light blinks steadily. Clay's handling that, feeding looped footage from last week. Security rounds in 20 minutes. Margaret's voice crackles through my earpiece. Elevator to 47, hurry. The elevator rises silently, each floor bringing me closer to the point of no return. I catch my reflection in the polished doors. A woman I barely recognize, dressed in black, face pale but determined. My baby shifts restlessly, as if sensing my tension. I know, little one, I whisper. Mommy's scared too. The elevator dings. Stephen's corner office suite stretches before me, Manhattan's lights twinkling beyond floor-to-ceiling windows. I'm halfway to his private office when a lamp clicks on. I wondered if you'd come. Stephen sits in his leather chair, watching me with those calculating eyes. My blood turns to ice. How did you know? He gestures to a chair. Please sit. In your condition, you shouldn't be standing. My earpiece crackles. Jillian, what's happening? Margaret's voice is tight with worry. I sink into the chair, mind racing. Stephen reaches over and gently removes my earpiece, setting it on his desk. Margaret means well, he says, but she never understood the bigger picture. And what picture is that? My voice comes out steadier than I feel. The one where you destroy your son and daughter-in-law for sport? He laughs, but there's no warmth in it. You think this is about destruction? This is about legacy, about separating the worthy from the weak. By setting up your own son? By testing him. Stephen leans forward. And you? Tell me, what were you hoping to find tonight? The truth. But whose truth? He opens a drawer, removes a familiar USB drive. Margaret's? Clay's? Or perhaps... He pulls out another drive. The actual records of every illegal transaction Beau's made since joining the company? My hands curl into fists. You've been watching me. Of course. And I must say you've exceeded expectations. The way you turned Clay, brought Margaret to your side, impressive. His smile reminds me of a shark. You're everything Beau isn't. Strategic, patient, willing to sacrifice for the long game. What are you saying? I'm saying you have a choice. He places both drives on the desk. One contains everything you need to destroy Beau completely. The other has proof of his crimes but protects the company and your child's inheritance. Understanding dawns. This was never about Beau. This was about finding someone worthy of running your company. The Moore legacy needs strength, conviction. His eyes drop to my stomach. And an air raised by someone who understands power. You want me to take over? Want? No, I'm offering you the chance to earn it. He slides the drives toward me. Choose wisely. My baby kicks hard, making me gasp. Stephen's expression softens fractionally. You have your child to think about now. Their future. Their security. I stare at the drives, remembering Beau's cruel smile at the baby shower. Remembering Margaret's haunted eyes. 30 years of silence. You're right, I say quietly. I do have my child to think about. I stand, bracing myself against the desk. And that's exactly why I can't become you. Before he can react, I snatch both drives and step back. My baby deserves better than a legacy built on manipulation and fear. Don't be foolish. His voice hardens. You're throwing away everything. No. I straighten my spine. I'm choosing something better. Tomorrow at the board meeting, everything comes out. All of it. Your games, Beau's crimes, Ruby's cons. Let the chips fall where they may. They'll destroy you. Maybe. I move toward the door. But my child will know their mother chose truth over power. Love over legacy. Security's already on their way up. I smile, feeling strangely calm. No, they're not. Because in about 30 seconds, every computer in this building is going to start downloading some very interesting files. Paige says hello, by the way. She's quite good with systems. His face contorts. You exceeded expectations? I rest my hand on my belly. Thank you for the lesson in legacy, Stephen. I'll be sure to teach my child a better one. The elevator doors close on his thunderous expression. My phone buzzes. Paige confirming the files are spreading through the company servers. By morning, everyone will know everything. It's done, I whisper to my baby. No more secrets, no more games. The elevator descends, and with each floor, I feel lighter. Tomorrow will bring chaos, but for the first time since the baby shower, I'm not afraid. I've chosen my legacy. Now it's time to build it. Morning sunlight streams through my bedroom windows as I button my blazer, trying to find an angle where I look more confident than terrified. The board meeting starts in 2 hours and my hands won't stop shaking. My phone lights up with Paige's text. Turn on the news, now. The TV flickers to life and there's Beau standing outside the Moore building. Ruby clutches his arm, tears streaming down her perfectly made-up face, devastated to announce that due to complications, we've lost the baby. She sobs. And to discover that my private medical information was stolen and distributed by someone I trusted. The camera pans to Beau's grief-stricken expression. My wife, my ex-wife, has been unstable since learning about the divorce. But this violation of privacy, this targeted harassment of Ruby during such a tragic time. My coffee mug shatters against the wall before I realize I've thrown it. That manipulative bastard. Serenity spits from my doorway. He's playing the sympathy card. He's neutralizing our evidence about Ruby's fake pregnancy. I say, my voice hollow, making me look unhinged before I can even present my case. My phone buzzes again. Clay. Emergency. Meet me at the cafe. Now. 20 minutes later, I slide into our usual booth. Clay's face is ashen. They got to Margaret. He says without preamble. Stephen threatened to expose her own secrets. She's recanting everything. The room spins slightly. What secrets? Apparently she had an affair years ago. The daughter Stephen thinks is his... Clay rubs his face. She's choosing to protect her family. I'm sorry. So we've lost Margaret's testimony. The pregnancy evidence is worthless, and half the board probably thinks I'm having a mental breakdown. I press my hands against my belly, seeking comfort in my baby's movements. What else can go wrong? The cafe door chimes. Ruby walks in, alone. Hello, Jillian. She slides into the booth next to Clay, who goes rigid. We need to talk. I have nothing to say to you. Really? Not even about this? She places a phone on the table. The screen shows a video of me in Stephen's office last night. Amazing what security cameras catch, isn't it? My throat goes dry. What do you want? To make a deal. She leans forward. That video goes public in 1 hour unless you agree to sign a confession. take responsibility for the embezzlement, drop all claims to company assets, and disappear. Why would I do that? Because if you don't, Bo has evidence suggesting you've been stealing money to fund a drug habit. Very concerning for an expectant mother. Her smile is venomous. Child Services takes those claims very seriously. The baby kicks hard, as if protesting. Clay starts to speak, but I silence him with a look. You really are perfect for each other, I tell Ruby, both so focused on the game that you miss the obvious. Which is? I pull out my phone, start a recording. Could you repeat that threat about Child Services? And maybe mention again how you'll fabricate drug evidence if I don't comply? Color drains from her face. You have been recording every conversation since the baby shower? Yes. I meet her eyes. Your move. She snatches her phone and storms out. Clay lets out a shaky breath. That was risky. No. I gather my things. That was necessary. She just confirmed they're desperate. What are you going to do? My phone buzzes with a text from the unknown number. Steven's private server accessed. Found something you need to see. Meeting room B, 30 minutes. I'm going to do what they never expected, I tell Clay. I'm going to tell the truth. The whole truth. No games, no schemes, no manipulation. They'll fight dirty. Let them. I stand, squaring my shoulders. I'm done playing by their rules. In meeting room B, I find a thick folder waiting. Inside are documents that make my hands tremble. Not with fear this time, but with certainty. My phone buzzes one last time. Bo. Last chance. Walk away now or I'll destroy everything you have left. I think of our baby, growing strong despite everything. Think of the legacy of lies I'm breaking free from. Think of the truth waiting in that folder. No, I type back. You destroyed everything I had 2 weeks ago. Now I'm building something new. Something honest. See you at the board meeting. I rest my hand on my belly, feeling my child's steady movements. Ready to help Mommy burn it all down, little one? The kick I feel is strong, decisive, like a battle drum. Time to end this, once and for all. The boardroom falls silent as I walk in, every eye tracking my movement. Bo sits at Steven's right hand, Ruby beside him like a perfectly positioned chess piece. The morning sun through the windows casts their faces in harsh relief, highlighting the tension in their practiced smiles. My heels click against marble as I make my way to the podium. The folder in my hands weighs nothing and everything. Before we begin, Steven stands, all paternal concern. Given recent events and Mrs. Moore's emotional state, perhaps we should... It's Ms. Wilcox now. I cut in, my voice steady. And I'm exactly where I need to be. I open the folder, laying out documents one by one. My hands don't shake anymore. 2 weeks ago, my husband served me divorce papers at my baby shower. It was cruel, calculated, and perfectly orchestrated. I meet Bo's eyes. It was also a smokescreen. Ruby shifts uncomfortably. Bo's jaw tightens. We're all busy people, so I'll be direct. Every person at this table has received evidence of extensive embezzlement from company accounts. Evidence suggesting my involvement. I pause, letting the tension build. That evidence was fabricated, but not by who you think. I slide the first document forward. A series of emails between Steven and Bo spanning 3 years. This wasn't about a son stealing from his father. This was about a father using his son's greed to orchestrate a corporate coup. My voice carries to every corner. Every transaction, every false document, every manipulated record, all orchestrated by Steven Moore. The board members murmur, reaching for copies of the emails. Steven's face darkens. These could easily be falsified, he says smoothly. Unlike the evidence against me? I pull out my phone, press play. Steven's voice fills the room. The Moore legacy needs strength. Conviction. Color drains from his face as the recording continues, laying bare his entire scheme. Bo stands abruptly, pointing at me. You can't seriously believe... Sit down, Bo. The command cracks like a whip. It's Margaret standing in the doorway. It's over. She walks to the center of the room, drops a stack of papers on the table. 30 years of records, every manipulation, every scheme, every destroyed career. I kept receipts. You promised. Stephen starts. I promised to stay silent about our daughter. Margaret cuts in. I said nothing about your business practices. Ruby tries to slip toward the door, but Paige blocks her path. Going somewhere? Maybe to delete those fake medical records? Too late. The boardroom erupts in chaos. Questions fly. Accusations mount. Through it all, I keep my eyes on Beau, watching his carefully constructed world crumble. Why? He asks finally, voice cracking. I gave you everything. No. I rest my hand on my belly, feeling our child move. You gave me a beautiful lie, but our baby deserves better than a legacy built on deception. The company will survive. I turn to the board. Every stolen penny has been traced. With Clay's help, we've already begun recovering funds. The Moore Group can be rebuilt, stronger and more ethical. Under whose leadership? Someone asks. Mine. Margaret's voice rings with authority. Unless anyone objects? The silence is deafening. Stephen seems to age decades before our eyes. Security is waiting outside. I tell him quietly. You have a choice. Leave quietly or be escorted out. Either way, the DA has everything they need. He stands slowly, straightening his tie one last time. You've destroyed decades of work. No, Margaret says. We've saved this company from what you turned it into. As security leads them out, Stephen, Beau, Ruby, I feel the weight of the past months lifting. My baby kicks, strong and insistent. I know, little one. I whisper. We did it. The boardroom empties gradually. Margaret squeezes my hand as she passes. Ready to help me rebuild? I smile, thinking of the future stretching before us. Actually, I have other plans. Later, standing at my office window watching the sunset, I feel Paige approach. So what now? She asks. Going to be a corporate warrior mom after all? No. I turn to face her. I'm starting my own consulting firm, helping other women navigate corporate warfare and toxic divorces, using what I've learned to make sure no one else goes through this alone. She grins. Need a partner? Always. My phone buzzes, a final message from my unknown ally. Well played. The world needs more mothers like you. I smile, watching the city lights flicker to life. My baby moves beneath my palm, and I think about legacy. Not the kind built in boardrooms, but the kind built on truth, strength, and the courage to stand up when the world tries to break you. Ready for our next adventure? I ask my belly. The kick I feel is answer enough. The hospital room is quiet except for the steady beeping of monitors and my daughter's soft breathing. She's perfect. 10 tiny fingers, 10 tiny toes, and a fierce grip that hasn't loosened since they placed her in my arms. She looks like you, Serenity whispers from beside my bed. Same determined chin. I trace my finger along my daughter's cheek, marveling at her softness. Poor thing. Have you decided on a name? Before I can answer, there's a knock at the door. A woman enters, tall, elegant, with silver-streaked dark hair and familiar eyes that make my breath catch. Hello, Jillian. She smiles tentatively. I hope I'm not intruding. You're the one who sent the texts, I realize. The anonymous tips. She nods, moving closer. I'm Elizabeth, Stephen's first wife. Serenity straightens, protective. Why are you here? Because 30 years ago, I made a different choice than Jillian. Elizabeth's eyes fix on my daughter. When I discovered Stephen's manipulation, his games, I ran. Left everything behind, including my chance to change things. She places a small package on my bedside table. This arrived at my office this morning. I thought you should see it. Inside is a newspaper, today's edition. The headline reads, Moore Group announces new direction. Margaret Moore implements sweeping ethics reforms. Keep reading. Elizabeth urges. My eyes scan down. In related news, former CEO Stephen Moore and son Bo Moore have accepted plea deals in the ongoing fraud investigation. Ruby Joseph, identified as a key conspirator, faces additional charges. Justice comes in many forms, Elizabeth says softly. Sometimes it's loud and public. Sometimes it's quiet, like a baby girl born free from toxic legacies. Why did you help me? I ask. Why now? Because 30 years ago, Margaret stayed to fight while I ran. We were both trying to protect our children, but she proved there was another way. She reaches for her purse. I've spent decades building networks, helping women escape men like Stephen. When Margaret told me about you, I knew it was time to come out of the shadows. My daughter stirs, making tiny mewling sounds. Elizabeth's expression softens. What will you name her? I look down at my daughter's face, so new, yet so wise. Truth. Truth? Serenity asks. Truth, Margaret Wilcox. I kiss my daughter's forehead. Because that's what saved us. What will guide us. Elizabeth pulls out a business card. When you're ready to start your consulting firm, call me. My network could use someone like you. Someone like me? Someone who knows that real power isn't in boardrooms or bank accounts. She touches Truth's tiny hand. It's in having the courage to stand up and say, no more. After she leaves, Serenity helps me adjust Truth against my chest. You know, when all this started, I was so worried about you. I remember. You thought revenge would change me. It did change you. She squeezes my hand. Just not how I expected. I think about the past months. The pain, the fury, the calculated moves and counter-moves. But mostly I think about the moment I chose truth over power. Freedom over revenge. I learned something. I tell Serenity. The opposite of manipulation isn't surrender. It's honesty. The opposite of control isn't chaos. It's choice. Truth makes a small sound like she's agreeing. Her eyes open, startlingly clear and direct. Hello, my fierce girl, I whisper. Welcome to our story. My phone lights up with messages. Paige confirming our office lease, Margaret sharing board meeting details, Clay sending congratulations. Each one represents a thread in the new tapestry I'm weaving. But right now, in this quiet room, none of that matters. What matters is my daughter's heartbeat against my chest, steady and strong. What matters is the truth we fought for, the legacy we'll build together. I think of Bo, of Stephen, of all their careful plans and power plays. They never understood that real strength isn't in what you can take from others. It's in what you choose to give, what you choose to build. Truth grips my finger, and in her tiny grasp, I feel everything I've gained by letting go of revenge. Purpose, clarity, freedom. A future built on honesty instead of games. Ready to change the world? I ask my daughter. Her eyes meet mine, fearless and bright. Like truth itself, she doesn't need words to answer.